Welcome to Love and Murder. I'm your host, Char. I'll be joined by Ky. In this episode, meet Jim on the Heat. A reckless hitchhiker goes on a killing spree that leaves a sleepy town still shaken to this day. Stick around. Let's talk about it. Let's get into Love and Murder.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the second episode in our new show, Love and Murder. I want the sound clip. Dun dun dun.
Sound bites and canned music when we need them.
Man, thank you for joining us last week. If you remember last week's episode of that crazy, I don't know what she was, sociopath, psychopath, master
a schizophrenic,
master of disguise.
Master of disguise. You said a professional poisoner. Yes, Audrey Marie.
Yeah, dude. If you haven't listened to it, make sure you go back and listen to last week's episode, which was also our flagship episode, our new episode of Love and Murder. So be sure to go ahead and listen to that. This week's episode is just as crazy. It's a bit shorter, and it's not as topsy-turvy as last week's episode, but it is just as crazy.
It's definitely intriguing, to say the least. After all, we wouldn't be called Love and Murder with our producer anyway. You have other Love and Murder shows out there, but yeah, our shows are unique. They're intriguing. They're different. They really kind of just tug at you like, hey, this is something you want to hear. Absolutely.
And this episode isn't as long as last week, so we're going to give you a preview of something that you would get if you were a subscriber to our Patreon. Right. So if you subscribe to the $5 and above subscription to the $5 and above, then you get bonus episodes, which most of those episodes are going to be like the crazy episodes that we're not going to put on the show. We're going to put it in our bonus episode for our subscribers, as well as the crazy relationship questions that we get. So we're going to give you kind of a taste of that at the end of this show in terms of a relationship question that came our way.
Like I said, space alien. What do I do? Ky Char.
Like I said, speaking.
We did. We always did. This is no different.
Yeah, we got weird questions. But as I was saying, speaking of Patreon, go to patreon.com/love and murder, and you can become a subscriber, which would be also known as a producer, with the $5 and above. I can't talk. The $5 and above subscription. With that, you'll get bonus episodes. You'll get a shout out in the show at the end of the show, and you'll get our love and gratitude for your support. Right. So head on over to patreon.com/love and murder. Also, don't forget to follow us on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, give us a 5 stars on the show. If you want to go back to last week's show and give us 5 stars on that, you can say, I don't know, Char, you say go back too many times. Ky, you need to lower your voice because, look, you're blowing my eardrums out. Whatever you want to say, that'll be amazing, and we want to thank you for subscribing. Also follow us on social media, Love and Murder on Facebook and Instagram, Love and Murder Podcast. So I don't want to take up all of your time in advertising where to follow us and everything. What I personally want to do is I want to go ahead and get into some Love and Murder. Shark, take it away.
Okay, and she's absolutely right. Let's get into Love and Murder. Oh my goodness, you guys. Oh, what this week what we have for you? Woo! I don't know, Ky. These stories get crazier and crazier, deeper and deeper. Just more off the chain. They're just, oh my, well, I don't want to say chain because some murderers use chains. Say that. Okay. And that was not a prelude to anything here particularly. Yeah, so we're going to call this one, Bring on the Heat. I Can Take It. Now, why do we say that? Where does that motto come from, Ky? Well, you know what? Big Jim is what he'd like to be called. That's what he's known as. That's what he kind of said that towards the end of his life. And I'm not going to tell you exactly what was happening at that moment, but it's kind of like his motto at the time. And I just added a little bit of spice to it. But this man was one of those people. Okay, just picture this, just if you will. His name is James Waybern Hall. He's a serial killer. He's known for robberies. He's known for random hitchhike murders. And he prefers to shoot his victim, kill his victim, have him suffer through gunshot. Gunshot anywhere that is. It can be your brain. It could be your chest. It could be your leg, your foot. He's going to make sure he gets that gun in there. So that's just crazy obsession. But yeah, so they call him Big Jim. That's his name. He's known as through the authorities, through his friends, his, just whoever really knows him, that is. Big Jim, why, you say? Because he's big in stature, very tall, over 6'5" or
Mm,
6. And
good
yeah,
lord.
but get this, solid, muscular. One of those, if you could just picture, Kai, you know how you watch television and it's some kind of a crazy show and there's like a bar fight scene and there's always some guy that's like with the big, the big muscle guy that wants to throw everybody else around with his weight. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so anyway, so yeah, he's also has red wavy hair that is it's a characteristic of his person as well. And so if you can just see this guy coming, and get this, he walks with a limp. So we've got a big man named Big Jim, big statue, big wavy hair, wavy red hair, and he walks with a limp. Oh, I'm already scared. I'm already
Wow.
scared.
I mean, he would stand out
Yes,
like
yes.
crazy.
It might be in a way that you're intrigued if you're a woman, though. What do you think? If you're a woman, and particularly,
No, that sounds
you know,
pretty
you think
scary.
so?
Yeah.
Hmm. Well,
Yeah.
why don't we ask his wife at the time, because my God, she's no longer with us, and neither is he. But Fayrene Clemens.
Well, spoiler alert. Good lord.
Well, no, because that's all part of the deal. This is one of his first victims. So Big Jim, also known, of course, in birth as James Waybern Hall, I would say that his motive is a thrill seeker. I'll let our panel decide the rest, okay? Now, the date of the murder happened on May the 25th, 1975, during Hitchhiker Mania days. I'm sure that, well, you know what, Kai?
Man, yeah, back then they did used to hitchhike a
Yes.
lot.
I'm wondering if some of our fans and our listeners just might have been, or this might have been a part of their life during those days, in 1975. So if any of you can contribute to this and confirm and say, you know what, guys, Ky and Char, yeah, I remember either getting into a car or offering a ride. We'd like to know about that. I'm curious. Were you nervous? Were you scared? Were you concerned? Or were you just looking out for humanity itself? Or were you the victim,
I
or
think
the victim, or were you the one looking for the ride? Go ahead, Kai.
no, I think hitchhiking was just the norm back then. Like I don't think they were looking out for humanity or anything. I think they just couldn't afford a car because I mean, at some point in time you can't afford a car. And it was just back in the day you thought it was a safe, fun way to get around. You meet a stranger and learn about them on your trip.
Well, Kai, that's a really interesting take on that. No, so well, just to clarify, what I was referring to when I said to look out for humanity is those on the other side, because according to authorities, this person, this heinous, hum, I don't know if we call him human being, this heinous persona, James Waybern Hall, Big Red. He would prey on victims who were giving rides because he was a hitchhiker, and he believed in his heart they were looking out for humanity themselves. And so they had a good spirit about them. They were a good person. They were off guard. Does that make sense? So that's
Yeah.
what they're saying. It's like, okay, you're not expecting me to rob you for whatever's in your wallet, okay, and to take your life. And that's what he got. That was, I would say that's pretty much kind of like what he got off on as well. He's a thrill seeker. So that's part of the deal for him. I mean, you could have $25 in your pocket, honestly. In those days, you could have had, $50 in. There were, as a matter of fact, credit cards probably didn't exist to the extent they do now. I don't know if we have any historians on our panel today. They're listening, or on our other side of our panel, I should say. I don't know in 1975. I wouldn't know. But I would assume that no, credit cards didn't exist. So that was something to think about. But nevertheless, this is
No, I
something
don't think so. It
probably
was
like
like
the 80s
more.
or 90s.
When did credit cards
Well,
come
you know
about?
what? I can safely say, Kai, if our listeners know me and you know me, I always have a story. It's just so funny. So in 1986, exactly. As a matter of fact, it was, let's see, August 1986. I had a brand new baby who was less than 3 or 4 months old, and I worked at this store. It was a department store, kind of comparable to Macy's in New York City. If you can, let's say J.C. Penney's anywhere else, but Macy's, New York City. It was called Kaufman's, and it was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Very, very popular. It's kind of like the Macy's of Pennsylvania. And so at the time, I was working behind the desk. I would run up kind of run up or charge your clothing and all of your, all of your shopping spree and all of that. And I would charge your credit card. So I had my name tag on that said my last name. It says Evans is my last name. So there was a lady that walks up and she sees my last name. Can you believe that? She looks at it. Okay, not a big deal. And so she runs up dress after dress, all types of different, smell goods and scents and things like that. And she had shoes. And so basically her bill came to about $600. And I said, Miss, I'm so sorry, but your card is declined. And this is again 1986. And she says, what are you talking about? I said, it's declined. She goes, no, it's not. I have enough money. And I said, I'm so sorry, but your card's declined. Do you know that she tells me, listen, I know who your husband is. I'm Portia. Yes,
Huh?
it was my ex-husband's ex-girlfriend. And she goes,
Hmm?
this is the funniest part of all. This is the funniest part.
My question is, how do you know me and I don't know
Let me
you?
tell you why she knew me though. Okay, I have the name tag Evans, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, it could be common anywhere else. She says, you are wearing my dress. I am a seamstress. Take my dress off. You're wearing my dress. Either take off my dress or allow me to run up these charges.
Either take off my dress or let me steal?
Yes, guess what I did?
Well, neither is going to happen. You're going to have to come. You're going to have to come back here and take it off of me. I don't think you want this.
Exactly. So you know what I did? And you know I'm crazy, Kai, so let's just go with this one. I'm going to give you one guess. What do you think I did? In 1986, August.
You took off the dress and threw it at her. I know you
And I
did.
handed the card. Well, I was looking so fabulous anyway with my
I know. I know that was your
when
mindset.
you wore slips and pantyhose when a lady was a lady. And so I did have on a slip. I had on a proper camisole over my bra, and of course I was wearing some pretty heels. But I also handed her, and I had stockings because that's what you did back then. And I handed her politely. I said, "Ma'am, I'm going to return this back to you." So anyway, to get back to our story, so Big Jim.
You're crazy because I wouldn't have done it. But go ahead.
Hi, what do you think you would have
She would have had to take that dress out of my cold, dead corpse. That wouldn't have happened. Look,
done? Okay, well, Kai,
I don't care. I don't care how good I looked. You're not getting it just because your audacity. Are you serious?
well, what I didn't tell you was that I didn't hand her the dress back. I didn't say she wasn't an excellent seamstress.
I don't care. I don't care if I shoved it down her throat. It's not
Oh my
happening.
goodness, you're so funny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so anyway, so Big Jim. This is the funniest thing. It really is. Oh my goodness. So yeah, but at that particular time, it's like it is what it is. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, so it's a different time though. We can just say that. It was a different time. So once again, Date of the murder, May 25th, 1975. We're talking about a thrill seeker here. We call him Big Jim. He was born in